Okay, maybe the fifth time's the charm. So, I'm doing a little bit of a different video. I had another video planned, but I can't do it because it's not working because my camera is, for whatever reason, getting to about 7 or 8 minutes and then it's turning itself off for some reason, which I don't know why. So I have to look through the settings and stuff and figure it out. But it's funny because I've tried twice already to do this video. The first time it recorded it, but then deleted the last 4 minutes of footage, which kind of ruined it. And then this time it's getting to 7 or 8 minutes and then just turning itself off, even though the battery is completely fine. But that's an issue for me to work out. Let's not worry about it. So instead, I'm going to share with you a quote from my quote book, and maybe you want to write it down yourself because I think it's a good one, especially seeing it follows on from the post I did yesterday about knowing is one thing, but then doing is another thing. So the quote by David O. McKay is, "The greatest battles of life are fought out daily in the silent chambers of the soul." Touching. So what he's saying there is that the issues that we face as human beings are, especially when it comes to what I was saying yesterday about the whole doing over knowing, is not something, it's usually not external is the problem. It's more the internal, the way, what's going on in your mind. And a lot of it is a constant battle and striving to overcome those thoughts in your mind that kind of, want to convince you to not do what you know you should be doing. And that's, don't get me wrong, it's, in relation to a thing called discipline. And it's tough, but the best part about it is discipline is a muscle. You've probably heard that countless times before. Maybe I've said it, maybe other people have said it too, that you've heard or listened to. But it is true. The more you practice it, the more you practice discipline. And even though your little thoughts might be telling you that, oh, don't worry, you've had a tough week. You can have, you can have KFC back to back for lunch and dinner, and top that off with a mojito. I mean, damn, that actually does sound pretty good. But your mind might want you to do that. But the thing is, you shouldn't be able. You should build the discipline where you could say no to that and still do what you need to do, either eat healthily or exercise and on top of that and stuff like that. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to quickly collect my thoughts. As you can imagine, I don't really rehearse these, so it's just all off the cuff. But yeah, and I think that's something that is important to recognize, because you might get to, going back to what I said in the post where I was like, I was meant to be doing that morning routine thing, but I fell out of it, so my discipline towards that had kind of like dissipated. But over these past 2 weeks, I've been building it back up. I've been building that muscle. So it's the great thing about it is, if you've built it up and then, something happens or circumstances change, because unfortunately they tend to do that thing, change, and you fall out of that routine, or you fall out of what you should be doing, and you feel bad, and obviously you're probably going to feel bad about it. Don't despair, because although that discipline muscle for that routine or that practice has fallen away, you can build it right back up again. And to be honest, in that instance, it's probably easier to build it up the second time than it is the first time, because the first time you did it, you weren't completely sure what you should do. Like you were figuring it out yourself. Like you were kind of just testing the waters, seeing what worked, what didn't. But on the second time round, where you've fallen out of your routine and you're trying to build it back up and get that routine down again, you'll know the tricks. You'll know exactly what you need to be doing, so there's no like, oh well, I didn't know what I should do. So you don't have that excuse. But also you'll know the little tricks to get it done. So for me, I didn't try to immediately go from waking up at like 7:50 in the morning to 5 o'clock, 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I didn't try and make this big monumental jump. I knew enough to know, hey, no, what's better is to go 10 to 15 minutes each night, or each new day, put the alarm for 10 to 15 minutes earlier. So, you know, initially it was 7:30, and then it was like 7:15, and then it became 7, and before you know it, I've got it down to around about 6 o'clock now, or around about Thursday, Friday this week, I got it to around about 6. My goal is to get it around about 5. Like if I get it to 5 a.m. and then can consistently stick with that, that's where I'll be happy. And going back to what the quote is, the thing that plays on my mind and what I need to overcome to make sure that I go to bed on time and that I can wake up feeling refreshed and being able to get up at that certain time is I'll have little thoughts in my mind late at night that, oh, you should go over to this friend's house, or, you know, you should do this instead of, you know, preparing and getting ready for bed. So for me, those inner thoughts that are happening for me is that I have to, you know, essentially mute them or find a way to distract them or to just get away from those thoughts. And usually it can range from things from like just either picking up a book and reading for just 5 minutes, just reading, you know, just as a quick, almost mind palate cleanser to just get rid of all those like mind wandering kind of thoughts and just meandering thoughts, just to get rid of them. And then once I've done that, I can then start doing, you know, things like brushing my teeth, you know, having a glass of water, and and actually another one that's actually been really good for me, and this is just unique to my situation, is I'll take my dog for a walk just before I go to bed, just so that she can go to the bathroom, because we don't have any grass or anything, as you can imagine, living in an apartment. So the only way she can go to the bathroom is out in the common areas. So what I'll do is, that's enough. Yes, the editing on this one is cooked. Sorry about the problems. The camera is... I shouldn't be playing around with settings. That's what I'm figuring out without a settings kind of guidebook here. But what the hell was I saying beforehand? Something about the thought about me going to bed thing. So yeah, that's the routine I have for getting my, for me to be able to get rid of those thoughts. And going back to the post from yesterday, the first part was about, you know, like, what do you know you should be doing but you're not? And the second part was like, what strategy, or like, you know, how could you go about figuring out a way to start doing that thing you know you should be doing? And maybe that should be something you can focus on now, and that can be your answer to that second part of the question, is coming up with a strategy or whatever, or a routine of some sort, to make sure that, you know, when those thoughts come up of, oh, you know, I should go to the gym, or I should do this thing, but, you know, XYZ excuse, I don't want to. If you have some sort of strategy or some sort of routine that, you know, can kind of dispel those thoughts and kind of mute them, then you'll be far more likely to maintain that discipline and follow through and do that thing you know you should be doing. I'm going to cut the video short here just because the camera is on the fritz at the moment, so I don't want to really risk it with a huge long explanation. So forgive me for that. I'll try and fix it over the week and get the next videos back to normal. So apologies about that. But if you somewhat got the message here and understood it, even with the shoddy, you know, camera work and stuff like that. And I noticed, I took a notice and saw that for whatever reason, the camera had like double zoomed in, so that's why you see a very close up of my face, which is, you know, I guess you're just that lucky. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week. So I'll see you next week, and, you know, just have a think about what I said, and, you know, see if you can start applying something. See ya.